सब्सक्राइब कीजिए नेहरा क्लासेस यूट्यूब चैनल को और बेल आइकन को दबाइए हमारे लेटेस्ट वीडियोस के नोटिफिकेशंस पाने के लिए। Hello everyone, once again welcome to our Nehra classes YouTube channel and I am your friend Vikas Nehra here. Friends, in today's tutorial I shall guide you with the configuration of iSCSI target as well as iSCSI initiator in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 or in CentOS 7 based machines. But before that, let me give you the brief introduction of iSCSI target as well as iSCSI initiator, and I will also tell you why we use it and how does it work. iSCSI stands for Internal Small Computer Systems Interface. iSCSI is a transport layer protocol that works on the top of TCP. It enables block level SCSI data transport between iSCSI initiator and the storage target over TCP IP networks. It supports encryption, encrypting the network packets and decrypts upon the arrival at the target. SCSI is a block-based set of commands that connects computing devices to the network storage, including spinning up storage media and data read writes. The protocol uses Initiator to send SCSI commands to storage device targets on remote servers. Storage targets may be SAN, NAS, tape, general purpose servers including both SSD as well as HDD, LUNs or others. The protocol allows admins to better utilize shared storage by allowing hosts to store data to remote network storage and virtualizes remote storage for applications. NFS, Samba, AFS means all network attached storage based tools work at file system level, whereas iSCSI, which is based on SAN like AOE, it works on block level. In today's tutorial, iSCSI target means the iSCSI server and iSCSI initiator means the iSCSI client. Let me give you more detailed picture with the help of diagram. Here is the simplified iSCSI target and initiator diagram which I have made for you guys. Here, this one is the iSCSI target or the iSCSI server. The server is that machine which provides the storage space and it is called as iSCSI target, whereas the machine which accesses this storage space provided by the target is known as iSCSI initiator, or sometimes we call it iSCSI client. Both the server and the client are connected with each other through an IP network, and the target or the server contains a disk or the storage device which it allows to be mapped on the client, whereas the client accesses this storage space provided by the target and then it uses it as the file system. So this is the typical diagram showing the iSCSI target and the initiator working. In today's tutorial, we shall use two different machines. One machine on which I will configure the iSCSI server, and the IP address of this machine is 192.168.1.104. This machine we are going to configure as iSCSI server or the iSCSI target, and another machine on which we will configure the iSCSI client or the iSCSI initiator, and the IP address of this machine is 192.168.1.105. Both these machines are running on RHEL 7, and on both of the machines the local YAML repository is properly configured. First we will configure the iSCSI server, after that we will configure the iSCSI client. To configure the iSCSI server, we need to log in the machine as the root user, and after that we have to make sure that the local yum repository is properly configured. If you need any help to configure the local yum repository, you can watch my videos. I will provide you the link in the description of this video and in the I button as well. After that, we have to set the host name in the server machine with the help of hostnamectl command. Hostnamectl set-hostname and the name which you want to set. I'm going to set the name as server.nehraclasses.local. We will verify the same with the help of hostnamectl command, and this will show us the static hostname of the machine. Now our next step would be to install the package, and the name of the package is target CLI. Yum install -y target CLI. This package is required for the configuration of iSCSI target or the iSCSI server. The installation will take some time, so I'm going to pause the video for a while. The installation of the package has been successfully completed. Now I will show you with the help of LSBLK that we are already having a disk of 2 GB which we use as the iSCSI storage, and this storage we will map on the client side with the help of iSCSI target. Now we will go on the client machine and follow the same steps. Here what we will do, first of all, we will log in the machine as the root user, and we will make sure that the local yum repository is properly configured on the client machine as well. After that, we will set the hostname in the client machine. Hostnamectl set-hostname client.nehraclasses.local. We will verify the hostname, which is now changed to client.nehraclasses.local. Now here let me first show you that there is no additional disk present in the machine. There is only one disk on which we have installed the operating system. There is no additional disk present in my machine. Here we will map the disk which would be shared through LUN from the target iSCSI target machine. As you can see that there is no additional disk present here. Now we will install one package in the machine, and the name of the package is iSCSI-initiator-utils. This package is already installed in the machine. Now we will again go back to the iSCSI target or the iSCSI server. Here at the iSCSI target or at the iSCSI server, we have already installed the package named as target CLI, which is used for the storage space based LUN management in iSCSI. So if you run the target CLI command, it will take you to the interactive shell or the command line interface, where we can list the details of all available commands with the help of help, which displays the currently available commands in it. If you just run the ls command, it will display three options. First one is backstores, which is used for the storage, iSCSI, which is used for the LUNs, and the loopback for the loopback. Inside backstores, there are 4 options available for the storage management. Each one is used for the different purpose. For example, the first one, the block option, is used for the block device based LUN like disk. For example, /dev SDB or /dev SDC or /dev SDD means the block device based disk. Second option, that is file IO. It is used for the file based LUN storage. In case if we want to use the file as the storage space which we have created with the help of dd command, in that scenario we will use this file IO option. pSCSI or the SCSI pass-through is used for the physical disk based LUN storage space like CD-ROM, and in some cases where we need higher input output speed requirement, in those cases we use RAM disk based LUN storage. So here in that case we use RAM disk option. In today's tutorial we will create the LUN with the help of block device based storage, that is with the help of /dev HDB, the disk which we have added in the machine, which I have shown you with the help of lsblk command. So with the help of that we will create the LUN here first. After that we will create the iSCSI, we will set the ACL, and then we will map this LUN at the initiator or at the client side so that the client can use this storage. Currently there is nothing inside blocks and iSCSI. So first we will create the LUN here inside blocks. To create the LUN here we will have to provide the complete path. Since we want to create it inside backstores, inside block, so we have to mention /backstores/block, and then we will type create and the name of the LUN with which we want to create the LUN. In my case I am going to name it as new LUN, and the name of the device with which we want to create this, that is /dev HDB. So here you can see that we have successfully created the block storage object with the name as new LUN using /dev HDB. Now if you run the ls command, this time you will be able to see the difference. Earlier there was nothing inside blocks, but now there is new LUN named LUN present inside block, and which we have created using /dev HDB of 2 GB right through. To map this LUN we need to create the iSCSI target, which will generate the IQN number of the target, and after that we will set the ACL with the help of the IQN number of the client so that the client can use this storage at it. So to create the target IQN number inside iSCSI, we will run /iSCSI command, /iSCSI create, and press enter. So this will create the IQN number, the target IQN number of the server. Only those clients which have this IQN number mapped can get the access of the LUNs which we have created at the server. So here you can see that we have created the target IQN number. We have created the TPG1. TPG stands for target portal groups. So if you run ls command here, this time you will be able to see the difference. Earlier there was nothing inside iSCSI, but now there is IQN number of the server is present, and inside this IQN number we have target portal group 1, and inside this we have ACLs, LUNs, and portals. So this IQN number works as the IP address. If two machines are connected through internet with each other or through any network, both the machines should have the IP address. In the same way, if we want to share the LUN or map the LUN, so both the machines, the target as well as the initiator, both the machines should have the IQN number. So this is the IQN number of the server, and it contains the details of the LUNs, which LUNs with which permission and with which network card and the port. So all these options are used for that purpose. The portals option contains the details of the network cards, IP addresses, and the port numbers. If there are more than one network card, let us suppose there are 5 network cards, so it will have the details of all these cards and the. So we can manage the cards with the help of this portal option. With the help of this LUNs option, we can manage the created LUNs, means which LUN has to be mapped or to be accessed by the client. client. That we can manage with the help of this LUNs option, and the ACL option provides the access to the LUN with the help of the client IQN number. So in order to map the LUN which we have created in the blocks, we need to bring this new LUN that is currently inside block to here in this LUNs option. The LUNs which we have created in the machine remains inside the back stores, and the LUNs which we want to present to the client, that we can see inside the LUNs option in iSCSI IQN number. So here first of all we will bring this new LUN here inside the LUNs option, that is inside TPG1 in IQN of the target server. For that, what can we do? We have to run this command, means we need to specify the complete path iSCSI IQN TPG and the LUNs. After that, we need to mention create here, and after that we have to provide the path of the LUN which we want to bring, that is inside back stores block new LUN. Press enter. So we have successfully created the LUN in LUNs option in target IQN number inside iSCSI. If you run the ls command, you will be able to see this. So you can see the difference. Earlier there was no LUN inside LUNs option, but now the LUN which was created with the help of /dev/sdb in blocks is now brought to the LUNs option in target IQN. Now we have to give the access to this LUN. We have to give access to the client for this LUN. For that, we need to know the client IQN number, and to get the client IQN number, we can run this command cat /etc iSCSI initiator name dot iSCSI. Actually, the client IQN number is present in this file, and the name of the file is initiator name dot SCSI, which is inside iSCSI folder in /etc. So what we will do, we will just copy this client IQN number from here, and we will go back to the server. To give access to the client for this LUN, we have to follow the same steps. iSCSI target IQN number, after that TPG 1, and to give access, now we have to mention the ACLs here, and after that we need to mention create, and now we need to paste this client IQN number here and press enter. So it will create the node ACL for the client IQN. Now if you will run the ls command, this time you will be able to see the difference. Now this ACL will have the client IQN number here, means we have given the access to the client. Now we have done the configuration of the target server or the iSCSI target, so we can exit the target CLI utility. Now we need to add the port number 3260 in the firewall, so that the firewall doesn't block it. And for that we can run firewall -cmd -permanent -add -port is equal to 3260/TCP. So this will add the port number 3260 in the firewall, since this iSCSI target and initiator use this port for the mapping of the storage. After that we will reload the firewall so that the new rule can get implemented. Now we will move to the client machine, and here we will first discover the LUN which we have presented to the client, and for that we can run the iSCSI ADM command. iSCSI ADM command is used for the management and mapping of the LUNs, and you can get the more details about it with the help of -L help option. Here you can get the other details about this command. Now to discover the LUN, we will run iSCSI ADM -m discovery -t send targets -p, and after that we will specify the IP address of the target server or the iSCSI target and press enter. So it will discover the LUN which we have presented from the iSCSI target server. Now we will map this LUN, and to map the LUN we would require the target server IQN number, and for that we can go back to the target server and run the target CLI command, and here run the ls, and we can copy the target IQN number of the iSCSI server. Now come back to the client machine, and here we will map the LUN which we have discovered in the previous command, and for that we will run iSCSI ADM command, iSCSI ADM -m node -T, and now we will paste the target server IQN number here, and after this we will mention the IP address of the server, that is 192.168.1.104 in my case, and -L, and press enter. So we have successfully mapped the LUN as well. Do not worry about the commands and the steps. I will provide you each and everything in the description of the video. You can copy it from there. Now if you will run lsblk command, this time you will be able to see the additional disk that is we are getting through the LUN which we have exported from the iSCSI target server. Since we have successfully mapped it, therefore we are able to see it here. So you can also list these details with the help of fdisk -l command, and it will also show you the details of this LUN. How can we confirm it whether it is the local physical disk or the iSCSI LUN? For that we can run cat proc SCSI command. This SCSI file which is inside proc SCSI directory, it contains the details of the LUNs. So here it is showing this as new LUN. It is the same name which we have used at the iSCSI target server. This is the same LUN which we have exported from there. So it means this is not the local disk, but it is the iSCSI exported LUN which we have mapped with the client machine. Now in order to use this LUN, we need to format this disk and mount it over any directory, and for that we can run mkfs command, mkfs.ext4/dev sdb. I want to format it in the ext4 type file system. So this can take some time. Yes, we have successfully formatted this. Now we will create one directory named as new LUN over the root, and here we will mount it /dev sdb new LUN. We will mount this directory on this disk which we have mapped with the target CLI. So here we have successfully mounted it, and we will verify the details of the same with the help of df-h command. Here you can see that this is the drive which we are getting from the iSCSI server, and we have mounted /new LUN directory on it. Now let's go inside this, and here we will long list the contents. Currently no file or directory is present there, so we are going to create some files and directories here. I'm going to create 10 test files in one command here, I'm going to create some directories as well, some more files. So if you will long list the contents of new LUN directory, here you will see that we are able to create files and directories inside it. Means we are able to utilize this storage which we are getting through the exported LUN from the iSCSI target server. In case we want to make this permanent, we want to mount this permanently on this client machine. For that we can make the entry in the fstep file. So we can copy the details from the mtep file and we will open the fstep file in the vi edit, and here we will make an entry for this. Here just go in the insert mode and paste the details and save the changes. So this will permanently mount it. So in this way you can configure the iSCSI target server as well as the iSCSI initiator in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 or 8 or in CentOS 7 or 8. Hope you guys will find this video useful for you. If you like it, then do share it with your friends and colleagues. And if you are new on our channel, then please subscribe it. We keep uploading such type of videos for you guys on regular basis. I'll see you in any other session. Till then, bye bye. Jai Hind. Vande Mataram.